Welcome to the Unleash Your Power podcast. I'm your host, Anastasia Jones, creativity mentor, author, and limiting belief gladiator. My purpose is to help you transcend fear, take bold, aligned action, and co-create the life and business of your wildest dreams. The world needs your art now more than ever. And if you're ready to embody the creative force within you, then you're in the right place. Now is the time to make your mark. Now is the time to unleash your power. Welcome back. I'm so happy you're here. I'm happy you're hanging out with me right now. And you guys, I have quite the episode for you. I am sharing the 3 most important lessons that I've learned in business. Now, in this episode, I want to share with you the 3, I could have said 10, let's be honest. I could have said 10 different lessons that I've learned in business. The list continues. Maybe I'll do a part 2. But these are the 3 that have really been on my heart to open up about and to share about. And the reality is, whether or not you desire to have a personal brand, or whether or not you want to be a coach, whether or not you want to start a business, these 3 lessons that I've learned in business have absolutely everything to do with life, not just business, life. So wherever you're listening from, I hope and pray that you'll hear these 3 lessons and you'll feel so comfortable like implementing them in any sort of way or allowing them to shift your perception, allowing this to sink deeply and to decide for yourself how you want to move in the world after you hear these lessons that I've learned, these things that have radically impacted me and shaped me. And I feel like these 3 lessons, if I could go back to me in 2015, these are the lessons that I would share with her. So if you haven't yet heard of my full story, check out episode number 1. Because I give you all the deets, all the mile markers in my own unique journey. So you can listen to that after you listen to this, and it will provide so much more context for all of this. But let's dive in. So number 1, I've learned that it's not the big actions. It's not the flashy offers. It's not the big things that make the greatest impact in your business. It is and forever will be the small actions over time. It's showing up for yourself consistently. It's building trust with yourself first, and then letting that spill over so that your audience feels it. It's about consistency over time. And that consistency does not have to be every single day. I want to clarify that. Let's redefine what consistency means for us. It could be once a week, once a month, once a quarter. But as long as you're consistently investing your time and your resources into your dream, over time you'll see that is the greatest return for your investment. If you're in it for the long haul, if you've decided to play the long game here, then that is and forever will be the best move. There's that whole, story it's about the tortoise and the hare. And this hare, this rabbit, and this tortoise, this turtle, they're like racing. And the rabbit just takes off, is running. It's like, I'm going to finish this race. But the rabbit gets tired. So the rabbit takes a break. And guess what? This tortoise is just moving slow and steady, but beats the hare, beats the rabbit, because the small actions over time, the consistency over time, will trump the big, massive action that burns you out. I swear, every single time. So if I could go back and tell myself 3 lessons, that's one of the ones I would say is like, first of all, stop waiting. Stop putting it off another day. Do not put it off another week, another month. There is a dream in your heart, and I want you to base that long-term vision off of that dream in your heart and stay faithful to it. And when we keep our long-term vision in the forefront of our minds, we can see how each action we take in support of that vision is getting us closer and closer and closer to it, even if it doesn't feel like it in the moment. Even if it doesn't feel like people are seeing you do these things, or people even know about you doing these things, that really does not matter. Keep being consistent. The small actions over time always produce the greatest results. Time flies by. And one day you're going to look up and you're going to think, man, if I just would have written 1 chapter a month, if I just would have written 1 chapter a quarter, I would have my book by now. If I just would have, so you fill in the blank. Time flies, and stop waiting. Stop waiting. The compound effect, this, what I'm talking to you about is called the compound effect. And it's all about the small actions over time, increasing in impact over time. So for instance, if you're writing a blog post, if you're starting a blog, and like blogs, my first love. I love blogs. Thank God for blogs. But if you're starting a blog and you're right at the beginning, and you write your first blog post, you write your second, you write your 10th, and it feels like no one's listening, no one's reading, no one's watching, I promise you it's working even though you can't see it yet. And it's often over time that, how do I put this into perspective? It's like the first blog post you write, it's often not until the 20th blog post you write that the first one takes off. So over time, it compounds and compounds. You'll hear this also with vanity metrics on Instagram. And I have so many friends where this has happened, where they're like, at a certain number of followers for a long period of time. And then once they get to the number that they desire to achieve, then almost overnight, it doubles. So there are other factors at work and at play here. And even if it seems like no one's listening, no one's watching, no one's engaging, no one's interacting, you've got to give it time for your efforts and your actions to compound over time. The most important thing is that these things are aligned to your long-term vision. And you have to celebrate as though it is, even before you see the result. So the compound effect celebrates those small actions over time. And I promise you, when you are faithful in the small things, when you steward them well, you are given even more, even more. So stop waiting. Start taking aligned action toward the long-term vision that you have in your heart. Don't wait for people to celebrate you. Celebrate yourself. Be grateful and just enjoy it. Have fun. This takes us into lesson number 2. There is such thing as indiscriminate action. Indiscriminate action. Now, this indiscriminate action is action taken without thought as to what the outcome may be. It's the things you do at random. It feels scattered. It feels thrown together, and like not in a good way. It's when you take 3 hours fixing a printer when you could have just taken it to the store and hired someone to do it. This means that just because you're busy does not mean you're effective. And oftentimes we can use our busyness as a badge of honor when really it's the rock that's weighing us down, causing us to sink straight into burnout. So if I could go back and I could tell myself one thing, it would be to choose your actions wisely with discernment, simplify them whenever and wherever they can be simplified. Even better, decide what are things that only you can do and try your best to buy back your time to outsource everything else as much as you can, or simplify it. So like this right here is why hiring a coach was so important to me. And it's not something that I could do right off the bat. For a very long time, I'm talking for years, I didn't have the finances. I didn't have the resources to invest in a coach. So you know what I would do? I devoured podcasts just like this one. I devoured blogs. I downloaded all of the freebies. I watched all of the YouTube videos. And there were some ways that this inundation of information, being inundated with information from all these different people that I didn't know. Let's be honest, I didn't know these people. I just thought they had good results and I was like, let me just figure it out. But I was able to try different things, to figure out what worked best for me and to just do it. And I will say that toward the beginning, I was trying everything and I was just doing so many things. And yes, I was excited by it, but also like, I didn't need to be doing all those things. And I will say this too, it taught me how to be scrappy. Like, yeah, maybe I can't, at that time, maybe I couldn't invest in, like a $300 a month platform to host my courses, but I could browse the internet, read different blogs and different websites and find one that fit my budget and worked great for me. Right? Maybe I couldn't create this big, massive body of work, but what I could do was get in Canva and make my own ebook. I could write it in a Word document and then I could put it in I could figure that out. Right? So for me, it's like, for a long time though, I did feel like as long as I was actively working toward my goal, even if I didn't know what I was doing, it was okay. But I look back now and I see there were so many moments in my journey when I was just doing stuff to do stuff and I was just burning myself out and I didn't understand that being burnt out wasn't the best place to create from. So I'm painting the picture and giving you as many different perspectives on this one lesson, which is indiscriminate action is not the move. Being busy just to be busy is not the move. Getting on your computer and being like, I have 3 hours, let me just like do something is not the move. If you can, whenever you can, make intentional decisions based on your long-term vision, right? There is such thing as decision fatigue. And so it's essentially the more decisions you have to make throughout the day, the less effective those decisions will be throughout the day. So let's just say in the morning, you're like clear-headed, you just wake up, you're like, okay, let's take on this day, let's make some decisions. The most important decisions you want to make toward the beginning of the day when you're fresh, right? And then toward the middle, the end of the day, because you've made so many decisions throughout the day, you'll begin to make these irrational trade-offs and that impacts the quality of the decisions that you make. So start your day strong. Maybe in the middle of the day, you switch up your schedule so that you don't have to make as many decisions during that time and the end of the day as well. And with that, I'll say, like, do what you can to prepare for the time that is to come. So back to that 3-hour time block. Let's just say you find yourself with a 3-hour space in your schedule. you're like, you want to work on your business, you want to work on something that you're passionate about, plan ahead of time for that 3-hour time block. Don't get to that 3 hours and say, okay, like, I guess I'll just, if it's part of your long-term strategy to create a source of passive income through your blog, then say to yourself ahead of time, this 3 hours, I'm going to work on a blog post. I'm going to write a blog post in 3 hours. I'm going to write it. I'm going to publish it. Boom. I'm going to use my keywords. Boom. That's what I'm going to do. Or during this 3 hours, I'm going to create social media content that is going to let people know about this offer. That is what I'm going to do. That feeds into my long-term strategy. That feeds into my long-term goal. Don't just be busy to be busy. And if you're wondering where to start with this, how to decide what actions to take, listen to episode 18, the one right before this one, because I talk about your higher self and I walk you through a higher self meditation. And this is how I determine what actions I can take in the present that will collapse time and bring what I want to me faster. So check that out. It's a great place to start to determine, okay, well, like, what actions should I be taking? Can I be taking? So number one, we talked about the compound effect, small actions over time, having the best return on your investment. And number two is indiscriminate action and taking actions that are more intentional rather than taking actions just to do something. And then we also talked about decision fatigue in that as well. Number three, intuition trumps strategy. And I say this because while I believe having a strategy is important, let's take it back to number two, right? Indiscriminate action. Having a strategy does help you take more intentional action with the time that you have. However, I say this because there is room for both. And in fact, the sweet spot is where you have a strategy that feels really good for you and really aligned. And there is also availability for you to operate in your intuition, in your gifts. There is room for your spiritual gifts here. There is room for discernment here in business. There is room for play in business. There is room to explore the boundaries of your gifts in business. There's room to bring something new to the marketplace and to leverage all of your skills, all of your strengths, all of your spiritual gifts. Never underestimate the power of play and the power of curiosity. Looking back, I would get so hung up on strategy, doing things perfectly. Really, it's perfectionism. Doing things right, I'm putting that in air quotes, that I would ignore my intuition. And because of it, parts of my journey were just riddled with self-betrayals. Things that didn't feel right, but I did it anyway because I thought I was supposed to. I did it in the name of strategy, and it bit me in the butt. And it burnt me out. It left me awake at night regretting things. And no coach is going to tell you that. But it's true. It's less about how to do these 10 things to make this money. And it's more about, let's get to know who you are. Let's get to know what your greatest dreams are. And then let's create an action plan for you that feels so good for you, that addresses your whole person, that leaves space for you to play, to be who you are, to bring the fullness of your authentic self to the marketplace. And that is how you call forth that success that lasts, true and lasting fulfillment, joy, success. And I've worked with all kinds of coaches. I'm telling you, the coach that I just explained, the one that's going to help you discover more about who you are and help you create a strategy and an action plan that feels good for you, that doesn't feel forced. Sure, it might challenge you, it might get you outside of your comfort zone, but it still feels good for you. Like, that is the kind of coach I want everyone to work with. That is the kind of coach I've chosen to be. I've worked with all sorts of coaches. That's the one that I'm like, yeah, that's my vibe. That is my strategy. And that is how I help people. So I don't care what anyone says, like, business is an inside job. It's first and foremost an inside job. And I look back at these pivotal moments in my business, and they were, the moments where I felt so strongly in my heart that the next action I should take, and I ran with it. And I ran with it without needing to explain it to myself, without needing to explain it to others, without feeling prepared. I just ran with it. And I started a blog. I didn't know what I was doing. I designed a website. I had no idea. I wrote an ebook. I created a coaching program. I said yes to one client, then two, then three, and on and on and on and on. I hosted an in-person blogging workshop. It was booked, packed out. I said yes to speaking at one workshop, then speaking at a seminar, then speaking at a podcast. I said yes to 2, to 3, to countless more. And I know deep down in my heart that, there are forces that are totally beyond what we can see, beyond what we can control. They are there and they love me. I know that they're here to help me. They're here to help you. They move pieces around. They move and put puzzle pieces in place with and for me. Like, if you picture this mosaic of your long-term vision, your long-term dream, it's like this beautiful mosaic. Just imagine you're placing pieces, placing squares in your mosaic. And so are these unseen forces that are here to be like, ooh, I love the picture you want to create. Let me help you paint it. Let me help you find the perfect colors. And let me put these pieces into place so that when you look at it, you're like, oh my gosh, we made that. We co-created that. And it doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to. All I want you to know, and all I wanted me to know, wants me to know, the younger version of me, is that there's so much love here, and your intuition and your gifts and your whole person is truly what we need in the marketplace. So if you ever feel like your strategy is keeping you stuck, baby, you need a new strategy. You need to figure out what is not aligned, what doesn't feel good for your soul, and you've got to reframe it. Strategy is not the end all be all. It's not. Someone can give you 10 steps to do something and you get to step number 5 and you're like, this doesn't feel good to me. And if you do it anyway, step number 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, it's not going to be effective, because that self-betrayal is like, to me, that truly, when you take an action and you know it's not the right thing for you, but you do it anyway, that self-betrayal, that is what I define as sin. When you know what to do and you don't do it, or when you know that not doing something is actually in your highest good and you do it anyway, like, I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone. And so often in the name of strategy, we chip away pieces of our freaking souls to follow the strategy. And I'm telling you, I could cuss right now because I really mean it in my heart. It's not worth it. Nothing is worth it. Follow your intuition. Follow your intuition. Create that long-term vision. Take small actions over time. Do not wait. Do not wait another day. Even if you just send one email today, Even if you just take one very small action in the direction of your dream, one aligned action in the direction of your dream, do it. Do it. I love you. I mean, I hope you feel that. Like I want to know your greatest dreams. I want to see you take action toward them. I want you to see the truth, which is nothing, no one can stop you. No one. You are, and you have all of the tools to make this dream on your heart a reality, or else you wouldn't be dreaming it. I believe that so deep down in my heart. There's a dream that you have that I don't. There's a dream somebody out there wants so badly to have horses and to have a farm and to wake up early and to feed their chickens. And I'm telling you, that couldn't be further from what I want. And there's a reason. And that person that has that dream of having a farm, they are already equipped to move toward it, to call it in just because they want it, because they believe it. It is on their heart. It is meant for them. The moment you dream a dream, it's already working for you. It's already coming towards you. You just have to meet it. And the way you meet it is through your belief and through your actions. And the more actions you can take based on the thing that you want, the faster it's going to come to you, the faster you're going to meet that thing. I have this dream of being an author, a mentor, teaching creativity workshops, teaching people how to show up in the marketplace in the fullest expression of who they are. I want to solve really, really big world problems. I want to do things so differently than anyone I've ever seen or met. I want to own my human experience in a way that I wake up every single morning and I'm like, ooh, yes, we have work to do, baby. We have heaven to bring to earth. And you guys, I can sit here and say confidently, I am in my calling and my purpose. I am in it. I am in it. I'm living it out. You hear it in my voice. I hope. I feel it in my heart. It's like this great, I don't even know what to call it. This great weight. Maybe weight isn't the right word, but you guys, I'm living in it right now. And I'm not living in it because someone told me I could. I'm living in it because it is mine by divine right. Just as your dream is yours by divine right. I'm claiming mine. And I want to help and empower you to claim yours. And do not wait. Do not stop. Do not pause for anyone or anything. I have the honor of working with moms. I work with a lot of moms, actually. Moms that have self-forgotten. Moms that have put everything on the back burner. Everything they want, they desire on the back burner. And they come to me when they're like, you know what? I'm just going to do it. And they're ready to do it. And I tell them the greatest gift, and I'm telling you, no matter if you have children or not, the greatest gift you can give anyone else that you love is to pursue your dream and your calling. Don't pursue someone else's just because you love them. Don't self-betray and call yourself a martyr. That's not what it is. Be true to who you are. Pursue the vision and the dreams on your heart. Sure, 100% those visions can change. But if you have a secret dream on your heart that you have not invested in pursuing, it is truly time to give your time, your energy, in part or in full, to that thing. And I can't tell you, like, your children, The people you love are going to see you pursuing your dream. And that's the greatest gift you can give your kids. Get a degree. I mean, go back to, I did an episode with Amanda Paul. And so check that out. I don't remember the number, but I'll put it in the show notes. She is a mother of 3, got married in her early 20s, had her 3rd child at around 30, went back to college, went back to graduate school, got a degree in her license in mental health counseling, and she's about to turn 40. And she's like, she decided, you just go back and listen to how she said it because it's truly so awe-inspiring. She didn't let anything stop her. And she knew, and it was a gift she gave to her children, is choosing to pursue what she wanted, choosing to be who she wanted to be, not feeling like, oh, I guess I'm out of time. You're not. Stop waiting. I hope you feel you have what it takes right now. I think of Cinderella. I think of Cinderella often because the thing I love about Cinderella, and I'm talking about the Rodgers and Hammerstein version, okay, with Brandy and Whitney Houston, that is superior. I don't want to hear about any other Cinderellas, okay? She had all of the tools she needed to get to the ball. Her fairy godmother didn't say, oh, look in the front yard. You have a new carriage. She said, okay, what do we got to work with here? We've got pumpkins. We've got mice. We've got a pest control problem. We've got these little ducks. I don't even know what she turned into things. We've got your dress, some rags. We can work with it. We can work with it. And bada bing, bada boom, she transformed what Cinderella already had and made it into what she needed to get her man. You know what I'm saying? And so it's the same for you and me. And I want you to look at everything around you, everything within you with a fresh perspective. Because those very things that you consider right now to be ordinary, that is the key. Those are the keys that are going to unlock the life that you want. And I want you to be grateful for that rickety old laptop that you have to keep plugged in at all times or else it'll die. Be grateful. I want you to be grateful for those headphones that you've had for forever. Be grateful because that could be your next microphone for your podcast. I want you to look at that old college ruled notebook and I want you to be grateful because that could be the first step in writing your book. I want you to be grateful for that cell phone that's so annoying. Honestly, sometimes it's annoying, but I want you to be grateful because you could pick it up right now and send one email that could change the trajectory and make so much momentum for you. You could send one text message to somebody and say, can I buy you a coffee? Like, these are things that if we look at what we have differently, if we can shift our perception, Marianne Williamson calls a miracle a shift in perception. There are miracles all around you. Can you see them? Can you perceive them? And I hope the answer is yes. Yes, yes, yes. So to recap these 3 important lessons that I've learned in business. Number 1, the compound effect. These small actions over time producing the longest lasting, greatest results. So stop waiting. Start taking action. Number 2, indiscriminate action. Just because you're busy doesn't mean you're effective. So take time to set aside that you can focus on bringing your long-term vision to life. You can collapse time doing less actions, but making a greater impact. Number 3, intuition trumps strategy. There is room for your whole persons in your business journey. And the moment your strategy hinders your progress, or you say something like, I should be doing, I should be doing. Maybe it's time to switch it up or to perceive it differently even. There's room for your intuition. Follow it. There are unseen forces that are always there for you, to help you, to love you, to support you, to put pieces in place that you couldn't, even if you wanted to. And also believing that the thing that you seek is making its way toward you. It's seeking you. And everything that you have, everything that you need to start taking action toward that long-term vision and that secret dream and that goal, it is within you and around you right now to begin. It is within you and around you. You can start taking action toward it. I love you, my friends. I always love our time together, and I do hope and pray that you can message me at any time. Please share this post if you believe that it will support a friend. Save this post if it can support you. Save this episode. I love you. I believe in you. And I'm so happy, excited, joyful to watch you transcend fear, take bold, aligned action, and unleash your power. Hey friend, thanks for listening. I'm so happy you're here. If this episode helped you in any way, please take a screenshot, share it with a friend, post it to social media, and better yet, why don't you leave me a review on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening from? My desire is to activate as many creatives as possible. And if you are looking for additional support on your creative journey, you can always connect with me on Instagram at AnastasiaRJD, or visit the links in the show notes. We've got free resources to reignite your creativity and soul-centered ways that we can continue to work together. I'll see you again next week. Same time, same place.